So one of the biggest misconceptions about life in general is that it's difficult, that it's complicated, that it's anything less than completely simple. And I'm not saying it's always easy, and that's not what I'm meant to be portraying here, that it's easy, because certain aspects of life can be quite, we have lessons, right? We have a lot of lessons that we need to learn. But the truth is that as you work through all of your issues and all of your lessons, and you start working with the universal laws and working with your superconscious, with your higher self, with the nature of reality and how the universe was designed and how it actually functions, then you're working in harmony. And that's where the ease, that's where the grace, that's where the flow comes in, and life starts becoming not only more magical and more wondrous, but you start experiencing the highest levels of peace, of love, of joy in your life, where everything is quiet, where the mind no longer yap, where the emotions are no longer throwing you around and confusing you and pulling you down anymore, because the only emotions left inside of you are those that are positive, that foster that peace. And that comes from unconditional love. You see, humanity has overcomplicated everything. And it's because of the head, it's because of the fact that humanity has disconnected itself from its true divine essence, from its source, that naturally the result of that would be that you have to take control of your life, you have to take control of your mind, you have to take control of your emotions, you have to take control of this, and you have to take control of that, because if you don't, everything's going to fall apart. But that control is the problem, because when you take control, you don't allow. So you immediately sever that connection to your higher self, to your God self. And then you don't get the guidance, you don't get the messages, and that heart, mind, gut coherence gets severed. And then, of course, you're going to be more stressed out. Of course, things aren't going to work out as easily as they possibly could. But the truth of it all is that the truth is simple. It's always simple. If you look at the greatest spiritual masters that have ever walked on this planet, or not even the greatest ones, just any spiritual master, what you will always find is that their teachings are very simple, very basic. And a lot of people at that really irritates them, because they want all the answers. They want their minds fed. And that's the problem. You don't want your mind or your head or your brain to be fed, because it's already full of garbage. It's already full of conditioning and programming and all of that. What you want is this to be full, because when this is full, you're connected, and this can override this. And like a good parent, keep it in check. And when this is full, you're connected to your gut, to your intuition, to your natural instincts, and then nothing in the world can touch you. But it's through the simplicity that happens. It can only happen through the simplicity. Listen, I live in the normal world just like everyone else. I did sacrifice a lot to live in ashrams, and I traveled the world and trained with all these different beings and all sorts of stuff like that, right? But all that training was about was to get all the non-love out of all aspects of my embodiment, as much as I would allow it and as much as I was willing to face some of the deepest and darkest parts of my consciousness and the pain and the hurt and the suffering that I took on. But the truth of it all is that it's just about love. It's always been about love. When you align with love, with true unconditional love, everything takes care of itself. That's the ultimate truth. Because when you align with love, you align with the true essence of who you are. And yes, this applies to every single aspect of creation, every single human being. There is no separation. When you start invoking unconditional love into your ecosystem and you start living from that singular principle, I mean, it couldn't get any more easier than that. It's only one thing you have to focus on, nothing else. Like literally nothing else. And yes, there are some tools and techniques that can help you integrate that and work with that and deepen that connection, like using meditation as it was intended to be used. And if you haven't watched my videos on meditation and meditation is communication, or you haven't gone ahead and gotten my meditation course, or if you haven't tried to attend one of my reclaiming sessions, or gotten into the instant breakthrough system, or into any of my coaching programs, it's irrelevant. Those are all well and good, and they are so profoundly helpful. But what you will find is that all of them take you back to unconditional love. But there's a certain framework that is necessary in your belief systems and in your mind. And there are certain tools that can help accelerate the integration of that, because there's just so much clutter inside. There's so much in the way. And that's why a lot of ignorant people will judge spirituality, and in some cases rightfully so, because when you look at the spiritual community, it's lost for all the beautiful teachings and all the beautiful things that has come out of the spiritual community. There's a lot of noise even there. And there's a lot of people reading a lot of books, filling their heads, and then coming out and teaching all these things. The truth is that when you align with love, like true unconditional love, you don't need to be concerned about manifestation techniques. You don't need to be concerned about the law of attraction. You don't need to be concerned about anything. You are the source of your entire reality. So when you naturally align with unconditional love, you're naturally going to create more love in your life. You're naturally going to align with your true purpose. You're naturally going to create whatever it is that you need to create. You're naturally going to be able to connect with your God self. You're naturally going to be able to navigate your life. But it's through that relinquishing of control. It's through that surrender. It's through that trust. But that can only come. I'm not telling you to just be naive. I'm not telling you to pretend that the world is not screwed up and messed up and going through its own fight. And that's what you're seeing. I'm not saying to pretend that there aren't criminals and really heinous, terrible things going on. What I'm saying is that if you put your focus on love, none of that matters. None of that will affect you. None of that will impact your life in a negative way. None of that will have any power over you at all. And where it does, there's more love to be learnt. There's more to grow into. There's more to expand to. Because I'm also not saying that all of a sudden all your problems just disappear, or that there aren't going to be more opportunities to grow more into that love and to drop more of that non-love or the trauma or the pain or whatever conditioning or programs that you still might have running in you. Because growth is infinite. Growth is forever, because the universe is infinite. Love is infinite. You are infinite. You are not finite. You are not this physical body. This is a very, very small aspect of who you truly are. But you can only tap into your true divine power when you align with love. And you know what the greatest thing about aligning with love is? That it just fosters more love. That it doesn't harm anybody. You can't go wrong with it. And the powers that be, let's just say the powers that be that are just trying to control everyone and enslave everyone and blah, 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 you know, all the conspiracy mumbo jumbo and all of that. What are they going to do to stop you? Because you're just being love. You're not breaking any laws. You're not speaking out against them. You're not doing anything wrong, because you're living from the place that all of creation operates from. Even the bad things happening on the planet are under the auspices of love, because the bad things that are happening on the planet is just humanity figuring itself out. It's souls, it's beings, it's consciousness. You know, we've been trapped in the illusion, hence reincarnation, hence all the things that we see on this planet, because we were trapped. But you have the single greatest opportunity that has ever existed for humanity right now, as the earth itself is increasing its vibration and more of love is coming in on this planet. Wouldn't you want to contribute to that? Wouldn't you want to be a part of that? And if you really, really, really want to be selfish about it, it's going to protect you. It's going to make your life easier. And the coolest thing about all of this is, let's just say it's not true. Let's just say everything I'm saying is just a lie. And it's completely fabricated, not real, and it truly is woo-woo mumbo jumbo. Who cares? I would much rather walk around in love than in fear, anger, hatred, judgment. It certainly makes me more happier. It certainly has improved the quality of my life. It has certainly allowed my life to be miraculous. And whilst it's not perfect in every area, because I'm still learning and I'm still growing, it's becoming more and more and more that. I'm guided. I don't need to be as concerned. I don't need to make things happen. Things just start happening around me. I still take action because I'm in a physical form. Action is a requirement. And sometimes it's uncomfortable because I have to step outside of my comfort zones because I'm doing something new, something that I haven't before. But instead of it being fearful, or instead of it being something that is crippling, it's excitement. It's with passion. And things just happen as long as I do one thing. As long as I take the time to communicate with myself, to foster more of that love, and to engage with the higher power that is me, my superconscious self, my I am presence, my soul, my God self, the quantum field. It's so magical. It's so amazing. It took me 20 to 30 years to get to this point in my life. It doesn't need to take that long for you. But you gotta get out of all the heady stuff. Instead of reading a book, meditate. I'm not saying to not read a book if you're guided to, right? But there's a lot of people that will read, but won't meditate. They will go and exercise, but they won't do the single greatest exercise that you can do for your mind, your body, and for your emotion, which is meditation. That's backwards to me. That is backwards. I can't tell you how many times people will come to me with all sorts of problems in their lives and they're really suffering and really hurting. And then you ask them the basic questions. Do you do this? Do you do that? Do you do this or that or whatever else? No. Well, what do you expect? What do you expect? But then you'll buy the next book, you'll buy the next course or program, or you'll spend hundreds of dollars on drugs and supplements and counseling and all of these other things that I'm not at all saying that they don't work. I use them as well, even for myself, and have. What do you think most of my training in the ashram was? It was meditation and counseling, being counseled and counseling others and helping them. That's what it was. It's in the simplicity that lies all the answers, all the solutions to all of your problems. And in the simplicity, it requires quiet. Because if you're not able to create the quietness inside, then what's the alternative? Noise. And that noise makes this world so much more difficult. And that's the reason why all the spiritual masters out there, their teachings are simple, not complicated. And we read it and we just pretend like, or it sounds good, it sounds nice. I'll even put it on a meme and post it around Facebook, all over social media, Instagram, everywhere. And people love it and they all share it. But so few people actually really sit down and really take it in and really actually choose to live from those principles. We're our own worst enemies. Period. The end. And there's no one to blame. no one to blame. If you're a victim, even 0.1%, that's 0.1% that you're not in peace, that you're not in full power, that you're not in actual full control of your whole entire existence. But having full control over your whole entire existence is to relinquish all control of your whole entire existence. It's the grand irony, and it's perfect. It's so perfect. The universe has thought of everything. God thought of everything because God doesn't need to think, because God is unconditional love. Once again, you align with unconditional love. You align with God, with your true divine essence, and peace and love and joy and ease and grace and flow become you. Your reality becomes it. It reflects it back at you, because that is where you're vibrating at. That is the energy that is commensurate with you, with what's going on inside of you. But you have to do the work. You have to get that 90 to 95% of you cleared out of all the programming and all the conditioning and all the white noise, because that's exactly what it is. It's white noise, and it's a distraction. I cannot begin to describe, if you meditate properly and you go within, I cannot even begin to describe the feeling of love that you're able to tap into. I cannot even begin to describe of what it's like to walk in your life and to no longer be afraid or in fear, or to no longer be stressed out, or to no longer have to be concerned about whatever is happening out in the world. Because the truth is, everyone's going to die at some point. It's just the nature of the physical realm. But you're immortal anyway. So when that happens, it's going to happen anyway. It's going to happen anyway. So why wouldn't you want the quality of your life to be as rich as it possibly can be? But it all comes from the moment, the now, the here, now. That's where you can find the peace. And you don't need to be filling yourself full of all this external stuff, because you already have everything you need inside of yourself. The simplicity of life can only come from within. I can't even show you that. No spiritual master or spiritual teacher can actually show you that. They can give you the experience of it. They can teach you tools and techniques, but you have to do it yourself. You have to do the work. You have to commit to wanting this, because there's no greater accomplishment, no greater achievement for any human being than to love itself unconditionally and to basically break itself out of the matrix, this illusion. There's just so much noise out there. Don't do that to yourself. Again, if you're guided, that's a different story, because there might be certain books and certain concepts that you might be guided to. There might be certain courses and programs. There might be certain modalities and might be certain things that you do need to do. But be guided so that you don't waste your time, number one, and so that you don't miss out on the amazing life experiences that life has to teach you. It's so perfect. It's such a bulletproof system. So that's all I have to tell you here, is that it's simple. Keep it simple. And the less of this stuff, Guided meditations are not the meditation that I'm talking about. Watching endless YouTube videos from different spiritual teachers are all well and good, but not if you're not meditating, not if you're not fostering that connection with you, that relationship with you. Going to 1,000 healers is not going to do the work for you. It will help, maybe, but if you have the framework and you truly understand things from the highest possible perspective, which is what I teach, then everything becomes super simple, super easy to understand. And yeah, it contradicts what 99.99% of the planet teaches and shares out there. And that's the reason why there's so few people that are truly, truly, truly walking as masters on this planet. And I'm not saying that I'm one of those, but there is a difference. There is a difference. And everything is available to you. Everything. The veil of separation is basically, for a lack of a better word, gone. You have access to stuff that no one, or it's been a very, very long time since the collective consciousness has access to this level of information. But it comes from within. Your truths come from within. That's why I guide people to go within, because you are the truth. You are the source. And no one knows you better than your superconscious self, your God self, your soul, your I am presence, the quantum field, consciousness, energy, light. My favorite word, love. Love is my favorite word to describe all of that, because it makes it real. It makes it an experience. It's an experiential experience of all of those. Unconditional love, that is, not the human love. Because love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't create pain. But love, summoning that love in, will flush up all the non-love. So you have to be prepared for that. And the easiest way to prepare for that is to meditate every day and to use the different tools and techniques that I provide and that other great teachers have provided, so that you can navigate that and get that non-love out as quickly as humanly possible. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want that? And then look at how your life turns out. You'll create the greatest outcomes. Your greatest dreams will be realized. It can't not be. That's the irony. It can't not happen, because it's who you truly are. If it's coming from you, and it is your soul's purpose and your soul's destiny to have a certain relationship in your life, the ideal relationship in your life, or for you to help humanity in a certain way through a business, through this or that, or whatever it is. And the fruits of that is living in paradise, because this is paradise, folks. This is paradise. Nothing compares to this paradise, and to being in embodiment and having this opportunity. Nothing compares. Trust me on that. There's a reason why there's 8 billion souls on this planet right now. And the reason why we have the greatest population we have ever happened, because this is the greatest ticket in town. Souls are incarnating from all different dimensions and areas of the universe and so forth because of what's happening here right now, the opportunity that is available right now to realize who you truly are and who you were born to be. That's all I have for you. That's all I have for you.